Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please for safety announcement. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please take a moment to locate the nearest exit door in this venue. Following the instructions from PA announcement, please exit premises through the nearest exit door. Following the exit signages, take the emergency staircases to reach assembly point in front of building and wait for further assistance. Please stay calm, avoid elevators and assist others when possible. We appreciate your attention in complying to safety instructions for the building. Stay informed, stay calm, stay safe.
Quorum is present. Let me start the proceedings of the meeting. As an introduction, I am Anand Deshpande, founder, chairman and managing director of the company. On behalf of my fellow board of directors, I am delighted to welcome all of you to our 36th annual general meeting. As we gather here to reflect on our past, the past year, discuss our progress and chart the course of the future, this AGM provides us with an opportunity to engage in meaningful discussions, address your queries, and share our vision for the company's future. Today's meeting is organized as a hybrid meeting, yet it is really good to see so many of you in this auditorium today. I'm also happy to share that several members who could not be here in person have joined this meeting online. Let me welcome them as well. As we get started, let me start by introducing our board members. Let me start first with all the independent directors who have joined us online. Signing in from New York, we have independent director and chairman of the Nominations and Remuneration Committee and Executive Committee and member of the Investment Committee, Dr. Ambuj Goyal. Thank you, Ambuj. Signing in from Los Altos Hills in California, we have independent director and member of the Executive Committee and Investment Committee, Ms. Anjali Joshi. Signing in from Santa Barbara in California, we have independent director and member of the Nominations and Remuneration Committee, Mr. Daniel Levin. Thank you, Ambuj, Anjali, and Daniel for joining this meeting. Both Daniel and Anjali have joined in from California, so it's really early in the morning for them. It's 3:30 in the morning right now. So thank you very much for taking the effort for being here in this auditorium. Now let me introduce you the independent directors who are on stage. We start with Praveen Kadle, independent director and chairman of the Audit Committee, Risk Management Committee, Executive Committee and Investment Committee. Next we have Avni Davda, independent director and chairperson of the Corporate Social Responsibility Committee and member of the Audit Committee, Stakeholder Relationships and ESG Committee, Executive Committee and Investment Committee. Now let me invite Arvind Goyal, independent director. He is the chairman of the Stakeholder Relations Committee and the ESG Committee and also a member of the Risk, Nominations and Remuneration Committee. Then we have Dr. Ajit Ranade, who is an independent director and member of the Audit Committee, Risk Management Committee, and the Nominations and Remuneration Committee. And let me introduce you to my fellow colleagues. We have our CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Sandeep Kalra. and our Chief Financial Officer, Vineet Teredesai. And finally, let me introduce you to our very dynamic Company Secretary, Mr. Amit Atre. We have several distinguished guests in this auditorium. I want to call out some of them. Let me start by acknowledging the presence of Mr. S.P. Deshpande or Dada, who is here. He is a promoter of the company and a former director of the company as well. Let me also introduce Mrs. Sonali Deshpande. She is the chairperson of Persistent Foundation, and we will learn more about some of the activities of the foundation as we go on today. It's a very heartening thing today that we have several former directors of Persistent Systems here present in person. We have Mr. Pradeep Bhargav, Kiran Umrutkar, and Sunil Sapre here as well. We also have Rajesh Gonaski, who is also a former CFO of the company. Thanks for coming. I didn't see Rohit today, but maybe he's here somewhere. Maybe he's online. Okay. We also have very special guests here today. I must welcome Manas Human. He is the founder and CEO of Nagarro, and you will hear more about Nagarro as we share some of the updates today. We also have Mr. Pratik Agarwal, who is the Chief Financial Officer of Nagarro. Thank you very much for being here to be part of our shareholders meeting. I'm sure they'll be very excited to see you and meet you. We also have Lucina Berger, who has come all the way from Germany. She landed this morning. She is a partner from Hengler Mueller, our legal advisors in Germany, and thank you for coming. We also have present in the auditorium several members who are responsible for ensuring that our business runs on time and is run effectively. So I would like to introduce Mr. Swapnil Dakshin Das. Swapnil is a partner for BSR and Company LLP. They are our statutory auditors, and they have been statutory auditors since the 35th annual general meeting, which was held in July 2025. Thank you, Swapnil. We also have Tejashree Joshi and Kaustubh Deshpande. They are partners from Joshi Apte and Company, our tax auditors. We also have Mr. S.V. Deulkar here in person. Mr. Sridhar Mudliar, Sheetal Joshi, and Meenakshi Deshmukh. So S.V. Deulkar is SVD, which is the company, SVD and Associates, our secretarial auditors. They have been our secretarial auditors since financial year 2025-26. They are also the scrutinizers for today's meeting. So thank you for being here. I want to thank Mr. Sanjeev Yadav. I guess he's not here, but maybe he's online. He represents NSDL, who have provided us with this e-voting platform and the video conferencing platform for today's meeting. So I want to thank NSDL for doing that. I also want to welcome and thank Sandeep Pawar of MUFG Intime India. They are the registrar and share transfer agents for this company, and they have been our partners since very beginning of, ever since our IPO. So thank you for being part of and supporting us all through this. Thank you all for joining this on video. Now I would like to, as we get started, I want to share a short video about Persistent's activities during the last 1 year. And while that is playing, I'm going to request the directors to please come in front again, and we'll clear the stage so that we have a clear view of the video. Can we place the video, please? Thank you.
And it was a strong quarter from Persistent Systems.
Persistent continuing on its high growth path, even in Q4, when most of the large cap IT companies reported a top line decline.
Persistent Systems, which is in focus, it's reported what was a good set of Q3 earnings.
Enterprises start to see the value of their data being leveraged by the technology of the AI, neural networks and everything else applied to my data set. That is when breakthrough innovations will happen.
The last several decades, we have earned the seat to the table. The right to win has to be continuously worked upon. So AI, while it will give us all the tools, it can make us much more productive. It is the shift from effort to intelligence. It is where the secret sauce will come.
Persistent was clearly the newsmaker of the day yesterday. It made a strategic bet with the acquisition of a German digital company called Nagarro.
This is a strategic acquisition. This combination gives us truly a global footprint. If we look at the combined companies will be 65% in the US/North America, 22% in Europe. If you look at the industry side of the house, we basically are big in tech, the ISV part of the world. We are big in BFSI and healthcare life sciences, whereas Nagarro is big in industrial.
So it's been a very exciting year, as you noticed. So I'm going to read the chairman's statement. So, dear fellow share owners, it's a privilege to share with you Persistent's 36th annual report. This is an opportunity for us to reflect on how far we have come, consider the changing world around us, and above all, acknowledge the trust that has made this journey possible. When we started Persistent in 1990, we had limited resources, but what we had was curiosity, determination, and a willingness to learn. We believed that if we remained useful to our customers and created value for them, then business would grow. More than 3 decades later, those fundamentals remain unchanged. Trust is earned every day, project by project, and commitment by commitment. Behind every customer relationship are teams working diligently to solve problems, meet commitments, and go the extra mile. Their dedication, professionalism, and care have helped Persistent earn the confidence of customers around the world. This year, artificial intelligence has become central to all business conversations worldwide. Like the internet and mobile computing before it, AI represents transformational technology, taking us beyond automation towards systems that can support interpretation, judgment, and decision making, and reshape how organizations operate, innovate, and compete. At Persistent, we believe enterprise intelligence rests on 3 elements: the core technology on which intelligence is built and runs, the business context that enables it to understand an organization, and the coordination layer that translates insights into action. The real opportunity lies in building an intelligent enterprise grounded in its own data, customer relationships, business processes, and accumulated expertise. Bringing these elements together responsibly and with appropriate attention to privacy, security, and governance will enable organizations to create differentiated and lasting value. This transition aligns very closely with Persistent's heritage and strengths. For more than 35 years, we have helped customers navigate major technology shifts by combining deep engineering expertise with an understanding of enterprise systems and data. Our role now is to help customers bring together technology, business context, and coordinated action, turning intelligence into meaningful outcomes. I am encouraged by how our people are responding to this moment. Technology changes rapidly. Judgment, creativity, integrity, and perseverance endure. The ability to learn, adapt, and solve meaningful problems has always been central to Persistent's culture. Institutions become stronger when learning is part of their culture. Persistent University and our broader investments in workforce capability remain important pillars of our strategy. The future will belong to organizations that learn continuously, and we remain committed to building one. In FY26, we continue to grow consistently, marking our 24th consecutive quarter of growth. This reflects the trust of our customers, the strength of our strategy, and the commitment of our people. I thank every employee for their professionalism, resilience, and the care they bring to work every day. I also acknowledge their families and the whose support makes these achievements possible. I remain deeply grateful to our customers. Many of these relationships have evolved over years and in some cases over decades. Technology cycles change quickly, but relationships built on trust, performance, and shared success endure. Growth also brings broader responsibilities. Our commitments extend beyond business performance to sustainability, governance, innovation, and community impact. Recognition through the Dow Jones Sustainability Indices and other ESG benchmarks reflects our effort to build a responsible, resilient, and sustainable business that creates value for all our stakeholders. What gives me confidence in the future is the quality of our people, the trust of our customers, and values that have guided us for more than 3 decades. Throughout our 36-year journey, our shareholder owners, all of you here, have remained true partners in Persistent's growth story. I deeply appreciate your trust and confidence. Finally, I thank our customers, partners, vendors, communities for the role each of you continue to play in the company we are building together. In the end, companies are built by people, relationships, and shared beliefs sustained over many years. We have been very fortunate in how we have been able to build this. As we move ahead to the next part of the meeting, let me invite our company secretary, Amit, to the podium to share more information about how to run this meeting seamlessly. Amit, please.
Thank you, Anand, and welcome shareholders to the meeting. I would like to inform the members that the annual report for the financial year 2025-26, notice of the AGM, the register of members, the register of directors and key managerial personnel, the register of shareholders of directors and key managerial personnel, the register of contracts or arrangements in which directors are interested, the register of proxies, a certificate from the secretarial auditors regarding implementation of ESOP schemes, and copies of newspaper advertisements about VC facility and AGM are available online and in physical mode for inspection by the members during this meeting. Online copies are also available on the company and NSDL portal. As the meeting is being held in hybrid mode, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members attending this meeting through video conferencing is not available. However, members attending this meeting in person are allowed to appoint proxies. The proxy register is also available for inspection. The company has received and considered one proxy form received in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. I have a small request to you to make. Those who are attending this meeting in person and have not submitted their attendance slip at the registration counter are kindly requested to submit the same after the meeting to mark your attendance. The attendance slips will be provided outside the auditorium after the meeting. I would like to now invite Sandeep to the stage to share the highlights of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. So before I start, I would like to welcome you all once again and for being our shareholders and for your support over the years. If we can have the next slide, please. So we would like to start with highlighting how the brand of your organization has grown over the last several years. Especially in the last year, we were recognized as the fastest growing brand in IT internationally. Let's see the video. This is one achievement we are all very proud of, and I'm sure many of you would also be. All of this is backed by the consistent effort by our team members globally. Over the last several years, we are among the fastest growing company in terms of our revenues, and hence, being recognized by the brand finance side, it comes on the back of this last 24 sequential quarters of revenue growth. We also announced our results yesterday, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but that 24 just became 25, and we are confident of maintaining that growth trajectory going ahead. Now, if you were to look at it, this is in terms of the percentage growth year over year. It is roughly 17.4% growth year over year in dollar terms, and in rupee terms, it translates into roughly 23.5% on a year-on-year basis. From a profitability perspective, not just did we grow our revenue by, let's say, 23.5% in rupee terms, we grew our profitability from an EBIT and PAT perspective by 31.5% and 33.2%, which meant basically we operated better and more efficient as the year went by. We are also proud to say, as we have gone by through the year, our total team strength today stands at, for the financial year end, stands at 27,500 plus. We also added 3 new locations: Estonia in Europe, which becomes a new delivery location for us; Abu Dhabi in the Middle East, where we are trying to expand our business with the different institutions, including banks and other local companies in the Middle East; and in China, where we have started servicing global customers as we win more global contracts. Just to remind all of you, here is what we do for a living. We work across 3 different industry verticals: software high tech, where we are working with the likes of Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM, Salesforce, doing work with them, as in doing work for customers with them, and also doing product engineering for all of these in their own way as customers to us. The second big segment for us is banking, financial services, and insurance. So whether you look at the largest global banks, or you look at some of the largest banks in India or in Europe, they are customers to us, and we do a bunch of work for them across product development or platform development, data analytics, or even things like managing their AI infrastructure as we move ahead. The third large segment for us is healthcare life sciences, and when you think about healthcare life sciences, many of the equipment that you may use for doing diagnostics, whether it is blood work, whether it is things at a higher end in hospitals, bedside, and so on, that segment to pharma, to payer are nothing but insurance companies, large insurance companies in the US and so on, and providers which are large hospital systems. We are very proud to say your company works with 2 out of the 3 hospital systems in the US, and we have touched their systems right from acquiring the patient through the life cycle of monetizing the patient journey and providing services to them over the last 15 years. So if you look at the Fortune 500 side of it, we count 20 of the Fortune 50 and many more among the Fortune 500 as our customers. Our largest customers happen to be among the Fortune 5 from a healthcare perspective. From a technology perspective, IBM happens to be our largest publicly known customer. So whether it comes to technology or it comes to healthcare, some of the world's leading brands work with us, and we provide services to them for many, many years. While we provide services to our customers, there's an ecosystem that we leverage. These are the largest technology companies in the world which bring technology, whether it is cloud, data, now generative AI or agentic AI to market. We count Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM, Salesforce as our technology partners overall, and in the data domain, we count Snowflake and Databricks and many more as our partners. And these are partnerships that we have nurtured over the years, and when we go in front of customers, we go jointly with many of these partners. Let me show you a video of how Microsoft, right from their CEO Satya Nadella to their senior folks, talk about us in public forums.
Had a chance to sort of meet with Persistent, who's done similar things to be able to then really deploy across the board.
From our partners at Persistent. We built a really effective declarative agent that fits right into people's workflow. It's grounded on the authoritative SharePoint data that backs their work, so it gives them what they need right in the flow of work without having to go and hunt for it. But what makes this app especially powerful is how tightly it integrates with the M365 apps.
Now, Anand talked a little bit about the AI part, and from the AI perspective, if you're curious what we as a company do, we are working across 3 different vectors. On one side, we are developing an AI-led product development lifecycle platform called SASVA, and this is used by us in delivering services in doing product development for independent software vendors, the technology companies, or in the enterprises, large banks, large financial services institutions, healthcare companies, in doing their application development and so on. The second pillar of it is the enterprise data readiness. When we embark on the AI journey is as good as the underlying data and the systems supporting that. Some of the biggest programs that we are doing for Fortune 100 companies are on making them prepared for the enterprise AI implementations as they go along. Last but not the least are the vertical specific or horizontal specific business use cases where we use our platforms like iAura to deliver those services. So to summarize, there are 3 platforms, 3 different use cases where we are investing heavily to understand the enterprise context and deliver services onto them in a very differentiated way from our bigger peers or peers across the landscape, whether mid-tier, European, US heritage and so on. On the back of all the capabilities that we built, we continue to be recognized by various people like ISG or Gartner or Everest, many other significant analysts and advisors who the customers look to for understanding the capabilities of various vendors in our ecosystem. So I'm very proud our team has delivered very well on the capability build, getting the recognitions, on the back of that recognition, building the business and delivering the growth that you see. Not only have we done that, and as Anand mentioned in his opening speech, we have also built our journey on the ESG initiatives in the various theaters, various markets that we play in, whether it's India. We also have the Persistent Foundation now in the US. So we pretty much contribute to the society in the different markets, different geographies where our customers and where our employees are. We are also very well recognized for building the high performing workforce for the future. We have invested significantly in developing Persistent University right here in Pune in Hinjewadi. It's one of the biggest investments that we have done over the last several years. If any of you wants to visit that, we are happy to host you. It has classrooms which are equal or better than a Harvard of this world. It has offline, online, both kind of trainings available to our employees. On the back of all of that, we have been awarded many of the awards for being the best companies to work for, the best companies in terms of the investor confidence, the most honored company by Excel and so on. From our initiatives, we are also tying up with multiple universities, whether it is in India, whether it is in the US, whether it is the likes of IIT Kharagpur, IIM Ahmedabad, or whether it is the School of Engineering in Milwaukee, for various talent related activities and also sourcing talent from them for our own growth as we go ahead. Some of the other things that we have invested in deeply are in our client relationships. We have tied up with universities like Dartmouth, where we have taken our senior management from our customers for understanding what is happening in the AI world, having them not only listen from the academia, but also from their peers and our leadership in forums which are very curated, small, and which encourage cross-pollination across industries of ideas from our customer base. Similarly, we have worked with the Major League Cricket in the US. Like you have the IPL in India, cricket is becoming famous in the US, and we are the AI reimagining partners for the SF Unicorns, which is one of the bigger teams in the US. On back of all this, we have won several recognitions for our leadership. Anand has been recognized as for the Lifetime Achievement Award at CNBC TV 18. Similarly, Anand has won multiple awards. It's just a representative set of awards, whether it is the SEEP Award here in Pune and being named as the best CEO and multiple more. So just to conclude, all of this progress is what has translated into another year for us in FY26 in terms of sustained business performance. We have also announced our results for Q1 27. This is the first time we are doing our AGM after announcing our Q1 results. Usually our AGMs were done before. So let me also recap what we have announced yesterday as our results for Q1. So for Q1, I'm proud to say we have continued our growth journey. We have delivered among the best result in our industry from an Indian listed or even a global landscape. So we grew our yearly revenues at 16.1%. delivering a quarterly revenue of $452 million. On the back of that, we also won a significantly large deal with one of our largest technology customers. This is $125 million on an annual basis and $650 million on a yearly basis. In simple terms, what it means is our growth journey for the next several quarters is intact and we have more and more to deliver. So from that perspective, rest assured, FY27, this is not a guidance, looks to be a fairly good year for us as we move ahead. So if you were to look at what we have said so far, we delivered a very good year in FY26. We've delivered a Q1 which is good from a revenue perspective. We have delivered good bookings from Q1 perspective that will lead to good revenues in FY27. And now we are looking for the next. How do we build the persistent of the future which will last for the next 5, 10, 15 years? And that's where we are proud to say, and Manas is here, Prateek is here. We are happy to join hands with Nagarro. And I must say this is not a company that was looking for being acquired. We looked around, we wanted to grow our capabilities, we wanted to grow our footprint in Europe and many other geographies. We scouted in the market for the companies that we could look at partnering with for our building our future. And that is how we approach Nagarro proactively, and I'm proud to say we have been able to make it work, and we look forward to building our next, a very comprehensive global company, $2.9 billion in revenue, 46,000 professionals globally. As we come to, obviously regulatory approvals and other things have to be done, but as those happen, we'll be a truly global company with a much bigger footprint, multiple verticals added like industrial and consumer, capabilities like SAP, etc. extended to us and vice versa. So we are confident with the management team that we are inheriting from Nagarro. As the transaction happens, we'll only become bigger, stronger, and be able to deliver even more to our aspirations and to your confidence. So with that, I will stop. Sincere thanks to all of you for being here and for your support in this journey, and I hand it back to Anand. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. It's been really exciting to see the growth of the company and all the work that we did during the last year. Now let's move to the next part of the meeting, which is the business segment of the annual general meeting. The notice convening 36th annual general meeting, the director's report, the audited financial statements for the year that ended on March 31st, 2026 have been with you for some time. Therefore, I take them as read. There are no qualifications or observations in the auditor's report to the consolidated and standalone financial statements for the year that ended on March 31st, 2026. So they are not required to be read here. So we'll keep moving. The secretarial audit report does not contain any qualifications or observations. So it is not required to be read. There are 12 resolutions for your consideration today, and I'm going to read them out one by one. The first 4 resolutions are proposed as ordinary businesses and are being voted as ordinary resolutions. The first one, to receive, consider and adopt the audited standalone financial statements of the company for the financial year ended March 31st, 2026, the reports of the board of directors and auditors thereon. Number 2, to receive, consider and adopt the audited consolidated financial statements of the company for the financial year that ended on March 31st, 2026 and the report of the auditors thereon. Number 3, this is regarding the dividend, to confirm the payment of an interim dividend of rupees 22 per equity share and to approve the payment of the final dividend of rupees 18 per equity share for the financial year 2025-26. This aggregates to a total dividend of rupees 40 per share, and our share is 5 rupees per share. As I'm an interested party in the next part of this business, let me invite Mr. Arvind Goyal, who is the chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, to chair the meeting for the next agenda item.
Good evening, everyone. The resolution number 4 is to consider the appointment of Dr. Anand Deshpande, Chairman and Managing Director, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. Now I request Anand to chair the meeting for the next agenda.
Thank you so much. The next 7 resolutions are proposed as special businesses and will be voted as special resolutions. So let me start with resolution 5. To appoint Avni Davda as independent director of the company, not liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for her second term of 5 consecutive years from December 28, 2026 to December 27, 2031. Number 6, to reappoint Mr. Arvind Goyal as an independent director of the company, not liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for a second term of 5 consecutive years from June 7, 2027 to June 6, 2032. Next, we have resolution number 7 to reappoint Dr. Ambuj Goyal as an independent director of the company, not liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for a second term from June 7, 2027 to October 31st, 2031. Number 8 is to reappoint Mr. Daniel Levin as an independent director of the company, not liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for a second term from June 10th, 2027 to April 30th, 2029. Alright, now let's move to the next set. Resolution number 9, to consider and approve the acquisition of Nagarro through Galaxy Germany Holdings, a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, which would be the direct acquirer in this transaction. Number 10, to consider and approve the creation of security and provisions of corporate guarantees to be given by the company on behalf of Galaxy Germany Holdings. Number 11, to consider and approve the creation of a charge, pledge, hypothecation and or mortgage by the company in respect of the loan given to Galaxy Germany Holdings. Okay, now this is the last one. The next resolution is proposed as special business and is being voted as an ordinary resolution. So for this, it is to consider and approve the material related party transactions that we've had. Now we are coming to the most exciting part, which is the Q&A section. So to help me assist through this process, let me invite Rajshri to stage. Hi Rajshri.
Thank you,
It's all
Anand.
yours.
Good evening, dear shareholders. Today, we will be taking questions from speaker shareholders who have pre-registered to speak at the AGM and are joining us virtually. We will also be taking questions from the shareholders who are present here in the auditorium. For shareholders attending this meeting online, you may post your questions in the Q&A box anytime during this meeting. You may also ask your questions on X, formerly known as Twitter, with hashtag PersistentAGM2026. We will read out questions received through the Q&A and X feed during the meeting. We will collate your questions, group them into categories, and answer them by category. Let me take you through some instructions to facilitate your participation in today's meeting. Since this meeting is hybrid, we will be switching between speaker shareholders joining virtually and between the shareholders in the live audience. We will also be reading out questions we receive from the Q&A and X feed. For speakers joining virtually, we will call out your name and unmute your audio, so please look out for your name. If there is any trouble with the connectivity at the speaker's end, we will ask the next speaker to ask their question. You will be placed back in the queue and we will try to call you again once other speakers complete their turn. We will request the speakers to be crisp and to limit their speech to 3 minutes. Please note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of shareholders asking questions depending on the availability of time at the AGM. With that, let's go to the speaker shareholders who have registered to speak and have joined us virtually. Our first speaker shareholder is Jaideep Bakshi. Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
CEO and key managerial person, myself Jaideep Bakshi, connecting from the city of Kolkata. First of all, I convey my thanks to our company secretary Amit Ji for giving the opportunity and entire secretarial team for keeping in touch before this start of this AGM. So the initial speeches along with the video clippings was very much informative, and congrats once again for the performance, which is well highlighted in page 16 of our annual report. And thanks once again for the dividend also. How we are strengthening the capabilities in this AI era, the current revenue driven by these AI-led projects, and pipeline for the AI-led engineering solutions for the next coming 2 to 3 years. What are the initiatives to drive diverse and scale operations in this emerging market? And what is our client retention rate and how are we positioned from our peers? And continue with your persistent foundation and the CSR activities, and return to the society is always great. And congrats once again for the awards which you have received, and also for the environmental stewardship, which is mentioned in page number 37, and also sustaining the carbon neutrality. Thanks for the opportunity, and I've supported the resolutions and continue with our growth momentum in the next era of technology with digital trust. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
For your question, sir. The next speaker shareholder we have is Samrat Sarkar. Yes, sir. Please go ahead with your question.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for consistently delivering beyond our expectations. I have the following 4 questions. Number 1, I had earlier read that Persistent had a revenue target of $5 billion by FY31. Is this taken into consideration for the new Nagarro acquisition, or now the goal stands revised? Number 2, where do you see your operating margins to sustain in the midterm after the accounting for the Nagarro acquisition? Number 3, what was our employee attrition rate in FY26? And lastly, you have mentioned about a shift towards a non-linear platform-led economics. So can you throw some light on what that implies? That's it from my side. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for your question, sir. We will now take questions from our shareholders here in the audience. Please raise your hand, and if you have a question, our team will get you a mic. And the only request I have is please state your name before you ask the question so we can capture where the question came from. And 1 second. Okay, so we have Mr. Vinayak Bapat, who has volunteered to start the question off. Can we please get a mic over here, please? Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, brother shareholders, board of directors, and some other ex-directors, and also the guests from Nagarro. As shareholder, it is my duty to kind of bring to the management's attention the concerns that shareholders typically carry, which have not been probably addressed here in the book annual report given to us, maybe for a strategic reason or whatever which management knows best. But I am confident that under Anand's leadership, we will have very forthright answers forthcoming, either here or a little later. Now, there are 2 resolutions for the accounts. One is for standalone accounts, and the other one is for the consolidated accounts. Before we take those, I thought I should also add a few things which need your attention. Undoubtedly, this is the moment Persistent was built for. This is a phrase from the chairman's thing. As they say, our time has come now. And it's come, and it's good that everyone is in good health and cheer and vigor to take forth the agenda that is being laid out, because it means another Himalaya to climb from, because 25 successive quarters, thanks to Kalra's leadership in the last 4 years, we are seeing some outstanding results. Years ago, I had a small concern. I used to tell Anand, why is EBITDA going less than 23, 24? One fine day he told me, we are okay with looking at 17 or 18. And the last 10 years, we are in that range. It is commendable. It is not an easy task to maintain an EBITDA at that level consistently. So, as we said, Persistent stands apart. The CMD's letter says that they give value for 36 years and all on building trust and customer retention. Very disciplined execution, and they've got 30,000 certifications for artificial intelligence and machine learning. I do not know whether the IT industry in India or global, where we rank with that achievement. It is the fastest growing IT services brand, as we saw. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the Nagarro acquisition should not lead to a dip, because such type of performances are rare. And I come from a company called General Electric, where we used to have AAA rating. So these things will have an impact on your rating, and we are only AA plus and stable. I would endeavor the CFO to ensure that we move to AAA after successfully integrating Nagarro. The ISO 42001 certification, how many companies are there in India or globally who have also achieved this? Like last year, I always complained that my CMD is underpaid. I want my brother shareholders to seriously look at this. You cannot have a company where people who report to the CMD are paid much, much more than our CMD. It is not he is not contributing. He is very modest and unassuming person. See, uneasy lies the head on which the crown rests. That itself is good enough for him to merit a very healthy and compensation. And I urge the Nominations and Remuneration Committee to prevail upon the chairman, because he is interested in this resolution. So he will keep himself out. So the others should vote and give what we shareholders will be happy with. Because I feel guilty. At the end of the day, when I see my dividend check, I feel guilty that I have not compensated one of my directors adequately. It's not right. So I'll keep making this speech. Maybe I am the only shareholder who keeps making this speech. But I don't mind, because I feel that it's a right cause. The other thing in the managerial compensation, there was a lot of disparity. The company's performance has been outstanding. And we see that CMD gets only 8% raise, CEO gets 12.3%, and my CFO gets 44%. And my independent board of directors, they get 57%. I think someone told me, I got some feedback, that the 57% for the independent directors was after a lapse of time. So are the current independent directors earning some bread which belonged to the previous independent directors? No, we have to be very clear on these things. The company has got enough resources. No one can say, "Ami visrun gelo." No, this is not acceptable. We have to raise our governance standards and be on the dot. Because such sort of disparities, I am a third party person, I read only the annual report. Then you feel, "Arey, kya ho raha hai idhar? Aisa kyun ho raha hai?" You feel odd, no? When you see 200 other companies which have different ways of compensating, and we are different. So I think Either it needs explanation in the notes. See, the annual report is our document. It is our way of presenting ourselves to the world. We should make the most of it and be elaborate and explain our position so that doubts should not arise in shareholders' minds. I like to share with my other shareholders. I compared Infosys, TCS, HCL, Tech Mahindra and Persistent. We are small, the other four are very big. But one thing which caught my attention, how our employee productivity, thanks to the CEO, has been outstanding. TCS revenue per employee was $51,000 in 26. Persistent revenue per employee is $60,000. What does it tell me? My work, the work which I am doing, is right at the top. We are getting high value work and our clients are paying us that much. That is what I monitor on this. This dollar revenue per employee, where does it rank me in my Indian companies? And I'm very happy to see we have overtaken TCS. And not for one. Last year also we were better than them. Last year TCS was $50,000 per month per employee and we were 57,000. So we are consistently doing well. And that we have also overtaken Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra is also a few times bigger than us. So what I'm trying to say is we are there. That top line which CEO put up, 25 quarters, shows a whole lot of numbers on the bottom line where we are outstanding. There were a few inconsistencies I noticed, and I think it is CEO Kalra's letter. The dollar revenue increase in the board report and the dollar revenue increase in your letter, there is a distinction. If you do the arithmetic, the board report comes 18.9%. And that is on page 164, where you will see 18.9%. Whereas what Kalra has referred to in his letter to us is 17.4. So I think someone in the finance and secretarial team should pay a little attention to detail. And before he sends out his letter, आप थोड़ा financial numbers edit कर लीजिए, because he has got so many things on his head. Very often, someone told me it is constant currency. Now I looked up various exchange rates. Constant currency का क्या rate है rupees से? मिलता नहीं है किधर भी constant currency. So okay, it is an invention of the IT thing. We understand it is like the Indian basket of crude. It is a mix of everything. So this was one important one. I brought it to your notice. No offense meant, my friend. Your contribution has been super outstanding. Now one request. You see, a concern which I mentioned to both company secretary and chairman, we are at the cusp of a large acquisition. We cannot let him go. So the shareholders should say, we would like to have his term extended for another 5 years with his performance bonus now linked to the Nagaro delivery. It's been good, and I'm quite hopeful that he will stay with us. But that's the need of the hour. Now, immediately my dividend got reduced by ₹5 per share. Now, someone will say, "Arey, aisa kaisa ho gaya?" But you see, the board, when people sit in the board, inherently thinks, "Arey, Nagaro hai, 16,000 crore ka debt lega, abhi uska interest itna aega." But more than the interest, watch out for currency depreciation. The euro has depreciated by 37%. I've got the numbers, 16% in this quarter. So my query to you, CFO, is why don't we take a dollar denominated loan, not a euro loan, currency loan? Because all our income is in dollars. So you have a perfect hedge. You don't have to hassle yourself, cross currency, tangdi mein tangdi hai and all that. Don't get into that. Please it will be a good savior. And Kiran Umrutkar is here. He is a bank treasurer. He is a Guruji on foreign exchange. Kiran Rao, Zara, please give guidance. Zero regulatory fines. Amit, you and the other regulators who were too good, too good. It's a pleasure to come here and participate in a company like this. I talked about rating also. Now I will come to the acquisition. Gentlemen from Nagaro, CFO and MD, please do not misunderstand me, but it is my duty to do a searching question of my board, and they will surely reply to all my concerns. You see, we are taking a debt of roughly 16,000 crores, between 13.5 to 16,000 crores, which ranges 1.75 times of our net worth to nearly 2. If you take the higher side, it becomes 2 times. Now, as any banker or anyone would say, 2:1 is the maximum. Yeah. Beyond that, you call it over leveraged. Now, we need to work with our analyst community and try and ensure that in the interim, in the 6 odd months, till we consummate this and till the revenue stream starts coming. That is why everyone is seeing is believing. When the revenue comes, everyone will say, Kalra is the best CEO in the whole world. It's a fact, na? Till then, you will say, Arey, itna debt hai, ye hai. And that is where the currency depreciation will wipe us out. 16,000 crores is a lot of money. Even if you take a 10% depreciation, it will knock us out. It's a lot of money, 1,634 crores. So I really want to there's a saying, sales or revenue, top line is for vanity, EBITDA brings you to sanity, and the reality is cash. So we have to convert this acquisition into as good a cash flow as persistent. Because it's not for lack of effort. We have an option, not Navarro, but we can invest in people. It may take longer, but the run rate is so good. The run rate, thanks to his team and you all put together, is very good. Q1 results were fantastic on top line, were fantastic on EBITDA. But I think we had a FX loss. So that really dragged down the entire profit. But FX loss is a cash outflow. So our debt equity will be hampered. It leaves us very little room for any other, either a bad calamity or something. We have no headroom to borrow. We are so tight. So we should look at some innovative financial instruments by which this indebtedness also. Remember Dhirubhai and Reliance Petroleum. That is all a hint. If you need details, I'll help you. I'm always here. I'm a shareholder, but I'll help you. Productivity. Productivity, we are better than Nagaro. The revenue per employee, EBITDA per employee, PAT per employee today is good. So one feels, ki why Nagaro? I think the management has to be a little more forthcoming. Maybe you are bound by some obligations or something, but if I have the satisfaction that the cash flows from Nagaro will take care of the interest and the currency depreciation, this is a win-win. If the management is convinced on it, the audit committee is convinced on it, I think this is a good proposition. Otherwise, I was really concerned with all the debt equity and things which going on. And we have 3 or 4 living examples. I need to share them. One is HDFC Bank, HDFC merger. From 1500 rupees, HDFC Bank for last 4 years is so much down. We are not a group, we are a one company, this thing. So we have to ensure that our share doesn't get hammered. Not to say that all of us trade in it, but still, if the share is at its peak or somewhere in that vicinity, everyone's comfort level is high. Second is Suzlon. There was a company from Pune which bought a German company for integrating. 7 years later, they had to sell that company. And that resulted in Suzlon's huge dip. Otherwise, it was very promising wind energy company. We have to learn from that. Another thing is JLR. When JLR was acquired by Tata Motors, the bankers to JLR ring-fenced JLR, saying that dividends, this, that, other from JLR will first be used to fund JLR. Hence, Tata Motors today is in debt and JLR is okay. If you see the two balance sheets and P&L, you will notice that. And fourth is also Chorus from the Tatas. Praveen Kadle might help you, but what I as a shareholder have seen and what we have badgered, when Chorus was bought by Ratan Tata, it was 24 million metric tons of steel. Today it is hardly 7. And there's nothing left of Chorus. It's been dismembered and dismembered and dismembered and dismembered and sold off. So these are lessons that corporate India has gone through. We have to learn from them, and we should ensure that we carefully steer our way and stay away from it. With these few words, I rest my case and thank you for a patient hearing.
Okay, any other members in the audience who would like to ask their questions to the executive team? Please raise your hand and we'll get a mic over to you.
I don't have any major question. Just I want to congratulate Mr. Sandeep Karla. I think you are the highest paid executive, CEO executive in India. Nearly 268 crores, what I most highest that what I read in the paper. So congratulations, and I am sure about the Karla and Sandeep under the leadership of these two persons. Our company is not only for the global print, is a global leader in the future. That I am sure about it. And even though Mr. Bapat said about the 16,000 crore, it's okay, it's a burden, but I am sure the very good work and our people, the working very nicely for this company, definitely we will come up from this loan, and in future, our company is again very good cash-rich company like this. And might be Mr. Bapat says about the chorus, and I am from that year, 15 years, 17 years back, the TCS only, the service company, saved the all Tata Group. What I know, because Persistent is one of the very good brand in the service, and that will definitely go in positive result. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any questions? Please raise your hand. Okay, I have a question that's come online that I'd like to. Yes, please. We'll get the mic.
Split our share from 5 rupees to 1 rupees or 2 rupees. Because that value also again increased, that's why. I am not asking about the bonus, but the split is very nice thing. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll read a couple of questions that we have received in the Q&A box, which associates to the question you've just asked. The board of directors can consider bonus issue of shares and rewards to its shareholders to negate volatility in the stock market. That's one of them. Second one is what's the roadmap in the coming 2 years? How many employees are working in the organization, and any acquisition in the future that we can anticipate, any bonus shares that we can expect? And lastly, with the way AI is advancing, do you foresee that coding skills will be obsolete over a period of time? How does it really affect IT service companies like us? And I'm willing to go back to the audience in the auditorium and see if there are any questions here.
Good evening, everyone. and hearty congratulations to the entire board of Persistent, and giving consistent, or rather I will say persistent, 25% quarter of growth is no joke, and that itself speaks volume. And more so, I am happy कि आपल्या पुण्याची कंपनी 25 quarters consistently, persistently grow होते. So please give a big round of applause for the management. As regards the salary structure, etc., was mentioned, I think most of them save for salary, especially maybe due to the option exercise, which we used to, see in Tech Mahindra as well, because I am from Tech Mahindra earlier. Thirdly, I would like to say regarding Nagarro, if you can throw some light that what is their cream of business, how we will like to integrate it, what are their systems and processes, because in all the acquisitions which we undertake, the culture also matters. So how we are going to integrate the culture. I'm sure all things must have been thought of, and I'm very confident that it would be taken care of. And also the number of subsidiaries which it has, the number of branches which it had. I'm sure some of the subsidiaries may be, you may be already having a subsidiary in that region or territory or geography, and you may like to rationalize this as well, because that will save some dollars, and every dollar helps. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Go ahead.
My name is Sneh Kumar Shahani, and I am attending this AGM for around 12th or 13th time. So I had some observations. Yeah, so first of all, since last 25 quarters, there has been tremendous growth. So I remember around 8 to 9 years back, most probably Mr. Vinayak Bapat has made a statement that EBITDA is very low, so this company may not run for next 2-3 years. So that, I think this is answered with this last 25 quarters of growth. So I am sure the Nagarro acquisition will also be handled well. So yeah, that accounts for applause for Mr. Sandeep Kalra. So definitely the disciplined growth that we are going through next 5 to 10 years, we need not worry about anything. But some questions I had, not just to Persistent, it's particularly about Indian IT industry. So everyone is doing like that. So there is less focus on this research, and I can see the CTO organization, in TCS and all these big companies of the world, they don't have this kind of research-oriented CTOs. So in Persistent also, I have observed that in last 1 year there was no CTO, and now we have some CTO. So how much investment we do in disruptive innovations that may yield after 5 to 10 years? So we do invest in some work that would yield in 6 months or 1 year, H1, H6. But how? When will Indian IT industry raise to the standard of the global standards like OpenAI of the world? So I would like to hear the views of Dr. Ambuj Goyal and Dr. Anand Deshpande on this part. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your question.
नमस्कार. आपल्या समोर मी मराठीत बोलणार आहे. सर्वांना नम्र विनंती. माझे नाव समीर केंगरे. आज आपण पर्सिस्टंट कंपनीमध्ये वार्षिक ॲन्युअल मीटिंगसाठी आलेलो आहे. त्याबद्दल मी चेअरमन साहेबांचे तसेच CEO साहेबांचे खूप खूप धन्यवाद करतो. आणि आपल्या कंपनीतले सर्व एम्प्लॉय असेल, शेअर होल्डर असेल, सगळ्यांचे आभार मानतो. कंपनीने आपल्याला सातत्याने ग्रोथमध्ये नेलेली आहे. आणि सरांनी आत्ताच सांगितलं TCS कंपनीचे एम्प्लॉय जेवढे रेव्हेन्यू जनरेट करतात त्यापेक्षा आपल्या पर्सिस्टंट कंपनीचे एम्प्लॉय आपल्यासाठी भरपूर रेव्हेन्यू जनरेट करून देतात. त्यामुळे सर्वांचं खूप खूप धन्यवाद मानतो. आता माझा एक क्वेश्चन आहे. आपल्याला सर्वप्रथम आपल्या जर्मन पाहुण्यांचे आपल्या कंपनीतर्फे स्वागत करतो. आणि परत आपल्याला जी नागारो कंपनी भागीदारी म्हणून कंपनीने आता घेणार आहे, त्यासाठी जे भांडवल उत्पन्न करणार आहे ते फ्रेश इक्विटीमध्ये करणार आहे का दुसरं ऑर्डर काय आहे, त्यासाठी एक आपला प्रश्न आहे. आणि असेच आपण कंपनीचे हातभार लावून पुढे कंपनीला ग्रोथमध्ये नेऊ. धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Okay. Anyone else who'd like to get access to the mic to ask a question? Thank you for all of your questions. We really appreciate your involvement and participation in the well-being of your company. Before we get to the next segment, we'll play some videos for you.
Cricket has always been about what happens on the field. The decisions, the pressure, the momentum. And now, technology is helping uncover patterns we've never been able to fully see before. Creating new ways for players, teams, and fans to experience the game.
Cricket has always been a game of skill, strategy, and split-second decision-making that can change everything.
And now, technology and AI are opening up entirely new ways to understand the game.
For players and teams, and for fans who want to experience every moment more deeply.
That's why we are excited to welcome Persistent as our official Re-AI Imagining partner of the San Francisco Unicorns.
Together, we're exploring how engineering, data, and AI can help reimagine the future of cricket. The game, Re-AI Imagined.
Together, we're reimagining the future of cricket.
I think AI writes better code than humans, but I think the important thing is to not fight AI for writing code, but try to figure out how to use AI to write better code.
We are the torchbearer. We were the challenger. Today we are the reference point.
to Anand, Sandeep, Vineet, Amit to continue the Q&A segment for us.
So thank you all. Hello, check. Yeah. Thank you all for asking very engaging and very hard questions. So, we'll ask the CEO to answer them. Yes, so let's get started. I think maybe it's useful. There were several Nagarro related questions. So I think maybe, Sandeep, if you can share a little bit about the plan and the timeline and also some other financing related questions to reassure the shareholders about the value that we are planning to generate. That may be a good place to start. And then, of course, we'll go through all the other questions as well.
Sure. So before I go into much details of the financing and other things, so let me talk a little bit about what Nagarro is, who Nagarro is, because I think there's a lot of questions around why did we do this and so on. And Manas is also here, so Manas, you can close your ears. We can't pay anything more, whatever, than what we have done so far. So if you look at Persistent so far, Persistent as of this point in time, and there is a full detailed investor call that we did, and we explained the rationale as well. That's available on our investor website. We'll request you to see that at your leisure, but I'll try and quickly summarize why we did the acquisition or why we are in the process of doing it and so on. So if you look at Persistent today, we are 27,500 of our team members spread globally. Let me give you some statistics. North America, 3,100 plus. Europe, 330. India, 23,800. Rest of the world, which includes Australia, Malaysia for us, and a few other places, 200. Let me give you Nagarro statistics. North America, 500 plus. Persistent, 3,100 plus. Europe, Persistent, 330 plus. Nagarro, 2,700 plus. India, both the companies have a significant presence. Nagarro has 13,500 plus team members in India out of the 18,500. Rest of the world, Middle East, Japan, Australia, Philippines from a tech perspective, that is where they bring the strength. We are not even present in those geographies. Now, think about it from another perspective. Think about it like if you are a large customer, Persistent is doing a great job with you, but now you have a global bid where you want Persistent to service you globally in different parts of Europe, in different parts of Middle East, Japan, and so on. We would have done a very good job, and we stand a very good right to win in our main markets like North America and other parts of Asia Pacific and smaller presence in UK and so on. But we kind of face some hurdles when we bid on global bids, and that's where Nagarro complements us very well from a geographic footprint. Now let me talk about the capabilities in terms of industry verticals. Technology vertical, Persistent is $550 million, Nagarro is 200. BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance, Persistent is 600, Nagarro is 155. By the way, that 155 has the who's who logo in Europe. So they have some of the most marquee logos in banking, financial services in Europe where we lack. And vice versa, we have the who's who in the US side. Healthcare life sciences, we are $450 million, give or take. Most of it, if not all, is in the US/North America. Nagarro is 80 million, very good customers. Small amount in the US, most part in Europe. Industrials, we are very small, $70 million. Nagarro is $370 million. They've done a phenomenal job. They have the who's who, BMW, Mercedes-Benz in auto and more. Similarly, they have the who's who on the industrial side. There is very little overlap between us two in terms of where we play. And even in the automotive side, they are on the digital side, not on the business that is coming down, the business that is growing up. If we look at overall the consumer side of it, they count the who's who of the brands, and because of confidentiality reasons, I don't want to name the brands, but they count the who's who of the brands in the world from a consumer perspective where we are very small. They also count publicly the city of New York as one of the bigger customers, where in public sector we have no presence. So if we were to look at combining the two organizations, the kind of customer logos that we have, there is very little overlap between the two companies, but the marquee logos that both sides have are phenomenal. And even if we were not to open one single more customer and we were to service these customers with the capabilities that we bring together, it is impeccable. Now, also from a risk mitigation perspective, as shareholders, you should know 81% of our revenues come from North America, predominantly US. If I look at the European revenue, it's about 8.5% to 9%. We have been saying we want to grow that to 15% aspirationally We have grown Europe in line with our company's growth, which is phenomenal, but we have not been able to grow it disproportionately. And that's where Nagarro and our combination, now we become 62 to 65%, depending on which quarter you're looking at, in North America. Europe is 22% from the 8.5-9% that Persistent has. The rest of the world, Middle East and Turkey put together, upwards of 70 million. Japan, Philippines, other places, India and Australia, all of this put together, now we become 16 to 17%. So the two companies bring a lot of complementarity, and from even what we have seen, the quality of people at Nagarro is equal to Persistent. And from culture perspective, both are entrepreneur founded, very good culture. In terms of R&D, there was a question. What we have seen in the limited diligence we can do with a public company, they have phenomenal capabilities in the areas that they have invested in. So we are very convinced from our perspective, and we have from a scale perspective, if you look at the last 4 years, we have not done anything at scale in terms of an acquisition. We have been saying for the last 4 to 5 years, if you go and listen to our earning calls or see our earning call transcripts, we have been saying our aspiration is to do a scaled acquisition in Europe, business invest in Europe, delivery in Eastern Europe. We also get a scaled Romania center, center in Poland and other places. So rest assured, as our investors, you have supported us. We have taken a very practical call, and we'll give it what we got, and that's a commitment we have from the Nagarro side as well. So we'll let it pan out, and hopefully we'll deliver the same kind of returns as we have done over the last several years. With that, I'll hand over to Vineet.
I think let me add one thing related, and maybe you should talk a little bit about the timelines of where things happen. So we need shareholder approval and several other approvals in India and also in Germany. It's a listed company in Germany. So it will take some time for the entire process to complete. It was already mentioned that it could be in the last quarter of calendar year or first quarter of the next calendar year. So, but by the end of this financial year, we'll have everything all sorted out. So that's one thing to note. The other important thing to note is that as per the way the laws and everything else works out, Nagarro will remain an independent company operating in Germany for at least the next 1 to 2 years. So that is another factor that will happen. So while the integration will happen over a period of time, it won't all happen on one single day. But we will keep the shareholders posted with all the activities as this transition moves along. But we are very confident that this is a long-term play for us, and this should help us as we expand our business in the future.
Sure. So I'll just add on the regulatory part Anand talked about. So in terms of timelines, SEBI equivalent in Germany is BaFin. So our document, the open offer document, thanks to Lucina and team and other partners that we have, is already with the BaFin folks. In the next week, we intend to, once we get their approval, open the open offer. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for the open offer to close. The acceptance is on that. Then we have the RBI approvals in parallel, and there are other competition commission approvals and FDI approvals in various countries. Not to bore you with too much detail, but lots going on. Next 3 to 4 months, all of this should coincide. And while the companies may remain independent, once that is done, we'll collaborate. And there's a legal framework in which we can collaborate. We can take each other's capabilities to our customers and supersize our accounts and even open newer accounts. So with that, I'll hand over to Vineet. Vineet, if you can talk about the financing part of it.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So in terms of financing, right now, the bridge financing, what we have secured, it is in euros. But at the same time, we are also in the process of securing the long-term financing options, and we are exploring multiple options that are available with us. Mostly it will be in dollar based, which will also act as a natural hedge against our revenue, combined revenue that will be coming in. And that should get closed in the next couple of months. So we'll keep you updated, and the resolution that we have sought today actually is for the bridge loan and the debt that we are looking to take over as for this company.
Can I answer the rest of them?
Yeah, so I think let's go.
Yeah, so I'll go through the strategy, M&A, HR related questions. So one question, and I'll try to club a few questions together because many questions are like to like. So there's a question on our $5 billion target by FY31. So we have said always it's an aspiration for us to grow the company to $5 billion by FY31, which basically means that when we exit, the last quarter should be 1.25 billion or more. We had also said our near-term goal or near-term aspiration is $2 billion by the time we exit the FY27. And I can say with pride, even without Nagarro integration, the Nagarro approvals coming in place, we should hit that aspiration ahead of time. So we let the time pan by, and this confidence comes from the fact that we have closed a fairly large deal and that we have announced publicly. So that is the underlying confidence that we have. Now for FY31, as we bring the two companies together, our pro forma revenue from the last quarter perspective itself is $2.9 billion. Add the growth from both the companies, and if we grow even at a reasonable clip, we have enough and more going for us in terms of accounts, capabilities, and the operational rigor that we have. We should hopefully meet our aspiration of $5 billion by FY31 well in time. Nagarro will be a part of that, and we've always said that along the way we will do some acquisitions, so that is fair square part of the whole aspiration that we had. Now there's a question on any more acquisitions going. So right now I think we owe it to ourselves and our shareholders to first come together, deliver to what we have going with us. Hopefully the regulatory approvals come in time. So for the next several years we are not looking at anything big. If there are anything that comes our way which is very good or which is due to some vendor consolidation etc. that we do, which is a tuck-in acquisition, we can never say never, but from a scaled acquisition perspective, as of this point in time, there's no other plan but to make Nagarro and our combination successful. There's a question about the differentiation in AI and strengthening capabilities in AI, and there are many other questions around AI. So from AI perspective, as we talked about, we have 3 different initiatives. Engineering front, the AI PDLC, the product development lifecycle. Even Nagarro has good capabilities in that, and as we go ahead, we'll try to bring the best of the two together. Second part is enabling the larger companies with the data part of it, so that they are enabled at the basic infrastructure / data layer for enabling AI use cases. We call it the enablement for enterprise data readiness, EDR. The third part is the vertical or horizontal use cases. So we rest assured we are working on all these 3, and there's different teams which work on building capabilities and scaling it up in our customers. Now there is the other question about ESOPs and so on and so forth. When is the next ESOP? I'm sure some employees have asked this. So whenever there are any such things, we'll keep you posted. These are time to time done in line with what we believe are the right long-term incentive compensation for various levels in our organization. So whenever there's anything to update, we'll come openly and update it. There is question about with the way AI is advancing, do you foresee coding skills will be obsolete over a period of time? How does it impact the IT services companies like ours? So it is not this that the coding skills will become obsolete. It is that, as Anand says at times, it's coders who use AI. That's the combination that will be the most potent combination. So one would definitely need to know the coding skills, but also leverage the various tools that are coming, whether it's the frontier models or whether it's the other models. With that, I'll take a pause. I'll hand over to Vineet for some questions on the finance side. Then I'll come back. There are 1-2 more questions.
Yep. So there were one question on where do you see the operating margin to sustain in the midterm after accounting for Nagarro acquisition. So just to let you know, we don't give any forward-looking guidance. We have mentioned it in the press that our endeavor is to maintain the operating margins in the 16 to 17% range before considering the debt and other impact of Nagarro acquisition. And right now we intend to continue with that same guidance. Again, it's not a forward-looking guidance, it's an aspiration. I'm repeating again and again for this. Second, there was a question on dollar revenue increase in the CEO letter and the annual report. We'll check and get back to you, sir. Third, I think so there was one last question which I already addressed the questions on the loan, but there was one question on cash flow of Nagarro. Should they take the depreciation? Right now, we'll not be in a position to comment on anything about Nagarro's financial till the open offer is closed.
So there is a question about how many employees are working in our company. So as of this point in time, as of June 30th, 28,640 employees in the company. There was a suggestion on bonus shares and rights and so on. So I'm sure our board will take it on.
No, so let me say that this is a discussion that we have every board meeting, and at the right time we will definitely do this. Yeah. But honestly, it's a little bit of a mechanical exercise as well, and at the right time we will definitely do that. We have, as you know, have had a bonus issue last few years back, and also a share split from 10 to 5. So we'll take a look at it.
With that, I think we have answered most of the questions, if not all. So,
is this cricket one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have covered all the questions that I see here in the list. Amit, for example, didn't get any questions today. But I think all of us have answered all the questions. So with this, let me move on to the next part of the meeting. Thank you all for your questions. And if there are any further questions that you would like to send us, you can send them over email, and we will take our best effort to answer them as well. So I'll move the meeting to the next part now. Session is over. Amit. Mine. Okay. Now that the Q&A session is over, I will brief you on the voting process. Pursuant to Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013 and the rules made thereunder, the company has provided remote e-voting facility for its members to cast their votes electronically. Further, as stated in the AGM notice, those members who have not cast their votes through remote e-voting may still cast their votes either through the ballot paper or through e-voting until 30 minutes after the completion of this meeting. If members have already cast their votes through remote e-voting, they must not vote again today. Otherwise, today's votes will be rejected. The Board of Directors has appointed SVD and Associates, practicing company secretaries from Pune, represented today by Mr. Sridhar Mudliar, as the scrutinizer to ensure the fair and transparent conduct of remote e-voting, venue voting, and e-voting during the AGM. Members who desire to cast their vote can do so after the meeting either through electronic mode for members attending the meeting online, through electronic mode by using computer machines that are arranged outside the meeting hall where company volunteers are available to help you, or through the ballot paper by depositing them in the ballot box. Okay, now let me request the scrutinizer, Mr. Sridhar Mudliar, to take the ballot box and confirm to all of you that it is empty. Can you, yeah, right, that's good. Okay, now I'm requesting you to kindly lock this box. So you can vote in that box if you want to. Okay, the scrutinizer will submit a consolidated report on remote e-voting, venue voting, e-voting during the AGM, no later than 2 working days from the conclusion of this meeting. Once the scrutinizer submits the results, the company will immediately communicate them to BSE and NSE and then upload them on the company's and NSDL's website. The results will be also posted on company's notice board at the registered office as soon as they are declared. Subject to receipt of the requisite number of votes, these resolutions will be deemed to be passed as of the date of the meeting, this meeting, that is August 3rd, 2026. Okay, now I'm glad to announce, so we are done with this statutory section. As we move to the last segment of this, I'm really delighted to share that Persistent Systems, we take our social obligations very seriously. And as responsible social citizens, we have earmarked funds from our net profit for donation to Persistent Foundation for social causes. Before we do this, let me have you see a short video of some of the activities of Persistent Foundation. Can we please?
some dreams begin quietly. In homes where opportunity feels far away, but hope refuses to fade. For over 17 years, the Persistent Foundation has stood beside communities, not just opening doors to education, but strengthening health, livelihoods, and the ecosystems around them. Walking alongside every step forward as individuals, families, and entire communities move ahead. Through over 55 projects and engaging with 65 partners, the Persistent Foundation has touched over 52,000 lives and improved the livelihoods of over 600 families. But this is more than scale. These are not moments, they are movements, and they're only just beginning. The Persistent Foundation has been working across 4 pillars. Our education pillar empowers children with, through scholarships, mentorship, and hands-on learning, the Persistent Foundation is helping children step into classrooms with confidence. And when it comes to health, we go beyond care. We restore hope. From addressing malnutrition to enabling life surgeries, we build for communities, not just for today, but for generations to come, creating sustainable solutions that strengthen livelihoods, restore ecosystems, and enable self-reliance. Under our pillar of heritage and wildlife, we are protecting what must endure, safeguarding ecosystems, preserving legacy, and creating harmony between people and the natural world. Through these steps, preserving the stories, the heritage that define us. This is beyond impact. It's about transforming what life feels like every single day. These are deeply personal victories. Because when a community comes together, it doesn't just support lives, it rewrites their future. Behind every life changed are over 10,000 people who chose to show up, giving more than 11,500 hours of their time, and over 3,000 plus employees chose to provide financial aid. And as these stories take root, they begin to travel beyond borders. With a newly found presence in the United States, our journey of giving finds a new home extending the Persistent Foundation in the places we operate. Through our 3 pillars, we are rooted in the same belief that communities grow stronger when we show up, with intent, with empathy, and with action. Through local partnerships, employee volunteers, and focused initiatives, we are building meaningful impact in the places our people live, work, and belong. These numbers tell an important story, but the real story lives beyond them, in every child encouraged, every life supported, every family strengthened, and every act of kindness that created lasting possibility. 17 years on, the journey continues, with gratitude for every hand that joined us, and with an unwavering commitment to build a more inclusive, compassionate, and sustainable future.
It's really wonderful to see the impact of Persistent Foundation. So let me now move to the part where the average net profit of the company, within the meaning of Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013, for 3 consecutive financial years ended on March 31st, 2026, is considered for determining the prescribed contribution towards CSR initiatives. This amount is being donated to Persistent Foundation, which will further deploy these funds towards committed CSR activities. Let me first invite Avni Dauda, Independent Director and Chairperson of the CSR Committee, to come on stage, and also invite Mrs. Sonali Deshpande, Chairperson of Persistent Foundation, to kindly come on stage. Let me now request Avni to hand over this ceremonial check for 271 billion, 271 million 300,000 rupees. Okay, 27 crore rupees is what they say. Thank you, and I'm confident you will put this to the right use. Okay, we have, there are several members online, about 600 plus members participated online, and we have more than 325 people in this auditorium and several people outside. But I'm told that the ones who have actually given their attendance slips, we have about 185 members who gave their attendance slips and 37 who registered online. So please, those of you who are here but did not register your attendance slips, please share them so that we can take account of the attendees. Okay. Now let me finally conclude by thanking all of you for being present and participating in this meeting. I declare this meeting closed and we shall play the national anthem, after which those online may disconnect the room from the meeting. Those of you here, I'm going to invite you to join us for refreshments, which are just across the floor. So let me request all of you to please stand up for the national anthem while we play the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे